cash flow now, this is fire movement.
Yeah.
This is definitely tapping into Gen Z energy, probably alpha, which is I want to live my life today. Like, what are you talking about? I want to save today so I can have a nice life in my 60s.
I don't know. My mentors are 67. Are we already started?
Yeah, we're
Okay. Yeah. So my mentors are 60, 70 plus years old telling me this. They're like, man, get that cash flow now. But I do have other people that's like, hey, like I like appreciation.
Well, I actually get that. If your mentors are older, I get why they would say that, because that's typically what you see when you get older, right?
100%.
Give me the cash flow because I don't want to work. I guess how I've always looked at it. So I want both of your opinions. I know your opinion, but I'm still going to ask it. If I'm starting off, right? Mm-hmm. I can either take cash flow today, which is realized, right? That's money coming in.
Yep.
But it's typically going to be at a smaller percentage than on the appreciation side. So I've always had the outlook of, okay, while I'm young, I want to be building wealth, right? I want my money to multiply, double. Then I'll start shifting over to cash flow, and I'm willing to take the smaller percentage return because I now have a bigger egg to feed off of, right?
100%.
So my question is to you, you see it differently. Why?
I do, because, cash flow is king and queen to me. I've never heard anybody say appreciation is king or queen. Uses cash as king, but I'm a strong believer cash flow is king. Like, if you don't have cash flow, then it's tough to continue your business, continue your lifestyle. But if you can get both, you're winning. But very rarely investors have both at the same time, unless it appreciates over time. Now, in the right before the bust, 2007, 2008, a lot of people were using the appreciation method more, which they lost their. And since then, that 2009, 2011, 2012, that's when I started in 2009, and I was getting mentored by the people that lost their shit in the bus, and they was like, we were doing the Bird method before Bird was called Bird. We were taking as much equity as we can to play domino, to take the equity, go buy another property, and then boom, it hit the fan.
Right.
So it's like, they was like, next time I'm gonna play the cash flow. And I was listening to that wisdom, and then I bought my first property in 2012, which I still own today. And I was like, I bought it for $12K. Still own it today. I get $700 a month. Like, and I start building and building and building. I'm like, man, this is an easy, simple way without getting into the matrix, which nothing's wrong. It's all about preference, but I'm more of a simple guy. If I can have $100,000 coming in a month and they're all free and clear, I feel like I won the game.
Free and clear meaning no debt.
No debt. I come from the no debt mentors.
Dang.
If you can play no debt. Now, again, there's no right or wrong.
Right.
I think it's pure preference. It's pure preference. Now, it's hard, it's virtually impossible to play the no debt game in California.
Right.
You got to play with that. But the properties I'm buying, I've been buying, they're cheaper properties in the Midwest. I'm from Virginia, so I have properties in Virginia. We can buy 50, 60, 70K properties and get a 20 to 30% cash on cash return a year. I don't know where you can get that in the appreciation game.
Okay, so hang on. I want to touch on that cash flow thing in 1 second. I want to ask you, though.
Uh-huh.
I know that I've been pushing you away from being a financial advisor for the last 6 years, right? But I actually want you to go back to being a financial advisor now.
So hard.
Okay? When you were dealing with, hundreds of clients, what do you think the percentage of clients that you had were what Antonio's talking about? Like, didn't want debt, wanted cash flow, maybe a little bit risk adverse. Could you say what you think the percentage of that typically is with people you are working with?
For me, it was on the smaller side because most of my clients were younger, which is so interesting because he's so young.
Right.
So to his point, as you're older, a lot of people start to make that pivot from appreciation over to cash flow because they're supplementing income that they're no longer earning from working. So because most of my clients were young, way more of them were focused on the appreciation play than they were on the cash flow. And it was actually something that I agreed with. Yeah. And I personally still agree with today. It's, if I don't need to supplement income, I'd rather pull cash out of a larger pool down the road
then I need to pull out today. Because one, I don't want the extra income tax. Two, I don't need the cash flow. And three, the first point, which is I want a bigger pool of money that I'm gonna pull from. So a lot of the clients that I had were actually of the same opinion. It's like, no, I don't need the money now. I want it to work for me. And I want it to get to a point where down the road when I do need it, instead of me pulling 10% of $100,000 that I've, saved in appreciation, I want to pull 10% over $2 million.
Okay, but Antonio just says something interesting, that he's not doing 10%. He's picking up 30%.
Yeah.
That's base hit. This is not home run stuff.
Okay,
That's
so walk me
amazing.
through that. How do you do that? Was it like?
Yeah.
Can you get that because it's in an area that is not very desirable and it's such a cheap property that the cash flow return is much more higher? Or is there a strategy that you're doing that is very unique? How are we capturing that?
It's the strategy. Well, it's a little bit of number one as well. Is we're buying in C-ish class areas, sometimes D if the property's like super turnkey.
So we're talking about like Section 8 housing?
We don't do Section 8. I'm not a landlord, and I don't, again, it's no right or wrong, but I don't like being a landlord. I don't like dealing with tenants. But I never heard a landlord investor say they love dealing with tenants either. So
I'm not a landlord either.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, but most buy and hold investors are landlords. They deal with tenants, apartment building owners, single family home owners. They're basically landlords.
Right.
So what my strategy is basically, and by the way, let me backtrack. I was doing Section 8. I started off Section 8 in 2000. Yeah, 2012. My first property was Section 8, and then I bought another property, and I was going the Section 8 route, and I'm like, man, these calls are coming in like.
Oh, lot. I want to stay on
know,
this.
I do
Can
too,
we?
actually. Yes, please.
Because
yes.
everybody's like the Section best thing in the world.
Yes.
And
Yes.
nobody talks about the downside of it.
They're gonna have kids.
Go for it.
Wait,
I'm pushing back my 10:30
Wait,
minutes.
no,
I want to hear
before
this.
you even start this, because I hear it too much and I can't wait to hear what you say.
Right.
I get hit up all the time about what's up with Section 8.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this Section 8 influencer. I know exactly his face. I can't think of his name.
I got a story for that too, but we'll wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all he's talking about is the cash on cash return is crazy and the income is backed by the government. Get into Section 8. Is Section 8 really good? Like, what is the reality for a Section 8 investor?
Well, number one, you have to fix up the property according to Section 8 standards. So usually our typical investors' turnkey standards may not be good enough for Section 8's condition of the property. So maybe the windows have to be a certain type of way, or
Like double pane, energy efficient, stuff like that.
yeah, and they have their inspectors going back and forth. You're like, damn, man, if I could have just did a traditional rental, I would have had this rented out. But you want to go to Section 8 route because you want that guaranteed money. And that's why I think most people do Section 8, because the government's paying the rent for the most part.
Okay, so more capital expenditures.
More capital expenditures. But the downside is you more than likely that Section 8 tenant is going to have kids.
Plural.
Kids.
He emphasizes
Multiple.
Kids. And those
More than me.
kids are effing up the property per second. And whether it's you that's getting the call or your property management getting the call, you're going to get the leaky toilet call constantly. And they know they can call. They're like, I'm probably paying $100 a month extra on top of what the government's paying. I don't care. So they're messing up the property more.
So give me an example, like a 2-bedroom house or
Yeah.
unit. How many people are occupying it?
Well, my last Section 8 tenant was supposed to be her and her 3 kids, but it ended up being her boyfriend, which was Pusha T's brother.
Pusha T's brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Stop, bro.
Say the name again.
Pusha T?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, good Lord. Pray
Sorry,
for Michael, everybody.
we can go after this afterwards. Go on.
No, not Malice's brother.
Oh.
Which is still close to,
Okay.
still part of the clan.
Yep.
Malice's brother.
Yeah.
I had to take it back. Malice's. I just think it's been, yeah.
They're actually two of like what I think are like the smoothest rappers ever. Like yeah.
Yeah, they're one of the top hip hop groups. Yeah. But anyway.
I exited the game after Warren G and Nate Dogg and Snoop and Dre
Michael,
did their thing.
We're
Okay, you're
bleeding
90s.
followers.
I'm the 90s hip hop
Mike,
guy.
the
You
followers
80s
are
baby?
leaving.
80s baby?
Huh?
80s
I'm an 80s baby.
Same. We're all 80s baby. Yeah.
Michael.
Okay, so go on. So
Yeah.
supposed to be a mom and 3 kids.
So on paper, on paper, it's supposed to, with Section 8, they've got to technically go by the rules. It's going to be me, my 3 kids.
Not me, my 3 kids, and boyfriend, and uncle, whatever the case may be. If they find out, then you're losing your Section 8 voucher.
Okay.
I could have did that. So it was many times she's calling me, I need you to kick his ass out, blah, blah, blah. Like, and they're arguing on the phone, and I'm like, okay, like, I can't do this. I can't do it. And she'll call me, and she broke the toilet, and they're fighting, and I couldn't deal with it, man. I was like, I don't know if I like this rich dad, poor dad, build wealth, get some rentals, play domino effect. And then I met my mentor in 2012. He was like, hey, I come from this. I've been in the game since 2003, 2004. I got my